The Worm Ouroboros by E.R. Edison. Chapter 9. The Salapanta Hills. Of the landing of Lord Joss and his companions in Outer Impland, and their meeting with Zeldornius, Helteranius, and Jaltinius Faustus, and of the tidings told of Mivash, and the dealings of the three great captains on the hills of Salapanta. On the 31st day after that council held in Crothering, the fleet of Demonland put to sea from Looking Haven, 11 dragons of war and 2 great ships of burthen, bound for the uttermost seas of earth in quest of the Lord Goldry Blueskull. 1,800 demons fared on that expedition, and not a man among them that was not a complete soldier. For 5 days they rode south away on a windy sea, and on the 6th the sea cliffs of Goblin Land came out of the haze on their starboard bow. They rode south along the land, and on the 10th day out of Looking Haven passed under the Ness of Ozarm, journeying thence 4 days with a favouring wind over the open seas of Cibrion. But now, when they had rounded that dark promontory, and were about steering east along the coast of Impland on the moor, and less than 10 days' journey lay betwixt them and their haven in Mulva, a dismal tempest suddenly surprised them. For 40 days it swept them in hail and sleet over wide wallowing ocean, without star, without a course, till on a fierce midnight of wind and darkness and roaring waters was Joss's and Spitfire's ship, and other 4 in her company, driven on the rocks on the rocks on a lee shore, and broken to pieces. Hardly, and after long battling among the great waves, those brethren won ashore, weary and hurt. In the inhospitable light of a wet and windy dawn, they mustered on the beach such of their folk as had escaped out of the mouth of destruction, and they were 333. Spitfire, beholding these things, spake and said, "This land hath a villainous look, stirreth my remembrance, as but to behold for juice soureth the mouth of him who once tasted thereof. Rememberest thou this land?" Joss scanned the long, low coastline that swept north and west to an estuary, and beyond ran westwards till it was lost in the scud and driving spray. Desolate birds flew above the welter of the surges. He said, "Certainly, this is Arlen Mouth, while least of all I choose to come a land with so small a head of men. Yet shalt thou prove here, it as it hath ever have been, how all occasion are but steps for us to climb fame by."
"Our ships are lost," cried Spitfire, "and more part of our men, and worst of all Brandok Daha, that is worth 10,000. Easily shall a little ant bib this ocean dry, then shall we in this taking perform our enterprise." And he cursed and blasphemed, saying, "Cursed be the malice of the sea, which, having broke our power, now speweth us ashore here in our mere undoing, and so hath done great succour to the great king of Witchland, and unto all the world beside great damage." But Joss answered him, "Think not that these contrary winds come of fortune or by the influence of malignant and combustive stars. This weather bloweth out of Kasi. The book is even as these very waves thou beholdest, have each his backwash and undertow, so followeth after every sending and undertow of evil hap,
whereby, albeit in essence a less deadly thing, many have been drowned and washed away who stood unremoved against the main stroke of the breaker. So were we twice since that day brought near to our bane. First, when our judgment being darkened with a strange distraction, we went up with a gaslark against Carsey. Next, when the storm wrecked us here by all and mouth, though by mine art I rebated the king's sending, yet against the maleficial undertow that followed, it my charms avail not, nor the virtues of all sorcerous herbs that grow.
Are these things so, and wilt thou yet be temperate? Said Spitfire.
Content thee, said Just. The sands run down, a certain time only runneth this stream for our hurt. It must now have well nigh spent itself. And were it too perilous for him to conjure a second time, at last may he conjured in Carsey.
Who told thee that?
Asked Spitfire. I do but conjure it, answered he, from my studying of certain prophetic writings, touching the princess of that blood and line, whereby it appeareth, yet not clearly, but riddle-wise, that if one and the same king, essaying a second time in his own person an enterprise in that kind should fail, and the powers of darkness destroy him, then is not his life spilt alone, as it fortuned aforetime unto Gorais the seventh at his attempt. But there shall be an end forever of the whole house of Gorais, which hath so many generations reigned in Carsey.
Well, said Spitfire, so well, said Spitfire, said Spitfire, said Spitfire, so stand we to our chance. Old Macula chance, old Macula chance.